Good comment.
Thank you.
How's our sound levels? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
I got there yet, sorry.
This guy.
Waiting on you.
Sorry.
Dave, what's going on with those kicks, man? Falling apart. Like my career.
Alright, levels are good.
Ready when you guys are.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Good on sound?
Okay.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. The Cape Coral Police Department has arrested a woman for trafficking methamphetamines, manufacturing methamphetamines in the presence of children. Cape Coral Police arrested Dawnette Eash, 30 years old, of Cape Coral, on charges of trafficking methamphetamine, manufacturing methamphetamine within 1,000 feet of a preschool, and manufacturing methamphetamine with children present. Cape Coral Narcotics Detectives executed a search warrant last evening at her home, located at 3619 Country Club Blvd, about 5 p.m. Once inside, detectives discovered materials used to cook methamphetamine, along with 33.5 ounces of the dangerous drug. Detectives also sadly found 4 children living inside the home. Dawnette Eash admitted to detectives that she manufactures the drug in the home, where she was also arrested and taken to Lee County Jail. The Department of Children and Families was called by detectives. They responded and took custody of the 4 children, and an environmental services company responded and removed the hazardous waste from the home, which is often present in methamphetamine manufacturing operations. The Cape Coral Police Department believes that for someone to cook methamphetamines in a home where children live is not only disgusting and sad, it's extremely dangerous, as we know for the previous methamphetamine busts that we've had this year. For kids to be exposed to these potentially dangerous chemicals is pretty staggering to us, and I think to the public as well. To compound the situation, she was mixing these explosive materials rather, a mere 800 feet from a preschool. And this type of situation is totally unacceptable in Cape Coral, which is why our detectives work so tirelessly on these investigations. Penalties involved: manufacturing within 1,000 feet of a school is a first-degree felony, which can bring with it up to 30 years in prison. Trafficking methamphetamines is 14 grams or over, which we were over that in this case. That's also a first-degree felony with up to 30 years in prison. And children present during manufacturing of methamphetamines where they know or should have known is first-degree felony as well. So I'll open it up to any questions you might have.
There was another individual in the house. Was that individual implicated at all?
No, our detectives were there and we spoke. There were, I believe, 2 other adults in the home, and they were witnesses in our investigation.
What are the ages of the children?
The one child I know for sure. The other 2 I don't. The first one, one that detectives actually spoke with, was 13.
Lieutenant, do you know if they were all her children or just?
I don't. I do know that they were living in the home.
Okay.
Okay, so they could be 13 and below or 13 and above?
They could be either. But I do know there were 4, so anybody under 18 in the state is considered a child, and then that's DCF's jurisdiction, so we did take them. Or
How'd
they
you guys
did.
get tipped off?
Pardon?
How'd you guys get tipped off?
It was a lengthy investigation that our narcotics detectives have been working.
How big of a problem is this becoming in Cape Coral?
I think it's becoming a problem. I mean, this is the 3rd news conference we've had about this this year, and this isn't something that we didn't know, sadly, was going to come. I mean, we've talked about it even offline, where the storm clouds have been brewing, that this drug, for lack of a better word, it's been successful on the West Coast and in the Pacific Northwest and the Midwest, and then moving its way east into the Southeast and now here. I don't think we're immune or any different than the rest of the country.
Reporting in the Midwest, there were a lot of meth busts. This is a very dangerous situation. Can you speak about the danger to not only the kids in the house, the individuals in the house, but to the neighborhood?
Absolutely. I mean, you see it on the news, just the volatility of these chemicals, and you're really kind of a backyard scientist when you use these dangerous chemicals and compounds, and when they mix, they're highly dangerous, can be explosive, and oftentimes are. And I think it's pretty telling when the cleanup crew comes in. they're wearing biohazard suits, and you have to have special cleanup to do this. It just kind of illustrates how dangerous it is. And for a kid to be living as close as you and I are in this room to that is pretty telling.
You said, how many grams is it?
14 grams and above
14.
is a trafficking threshold.
And we're talking about 2 pounds. So, what level of a drug kingpin, if you will, was this person?
It's tough for me to say. You know, it depends. That could either be personal use up to and including selling. It just depends on how much of the drug this person is using or supplying other people. And that's part of the investigation that our detectives are still unraveling at this point. But potentially, this could have been spread, you know, throughout the city.
Lieutenant, can you speak to that a little bit to the extent that you can? I mean, are there other people in the Cape that you're keeping an eye on, or are there other ongoing investigations into other potentially known meth makers or dealers?
The short answer is yes. I can't really give you a longer answer than that. I can't reveal any investigative techniques, but just so, as disturbing as it is, we don't say it or mention it here for just that shock value. Part of it is to let people know that it's out there, but also to let you know that if there is some comfort that our detectives are still working on this. We have leads on other drug manufacturers of methamphetamines, and up to and including the misuse of prescription drugs, which is also an epidemic here as well. Just because this is becoming prevalent doesn't mean those other dangerous drugs and challenges that we face don't subside.
And how do you guys shift your focus really to start paying more attention or looking more into these meth situations here in Cape Coral?
Well, like any other type of a crime or trend, we network with other agencies here in Southwest Florida and also nationally to see what's coming and not to be so short-sighted or even arrogant to think that won't happen here. You have to believe that that's going to happen here, and you prepare for it, and it's in your strategic planning for the future on many different fronts at the police department, and then within investigations and narcotics, you have to be ready for this, and we've been training for it, and we have some specially trained detectives that deal with methamphetamines and the manufacturing of it in particular.
And just finally, what should neighbors be looking out for if they suspect there's drug activity, particularly meth, going on in their neighborhood?
That's one of the parallels to all the other types of narcotics dealing, is you're going to see cars coming and going, strange or unfamiliar people in and out, and that's with any type of drug dealing, but to specify it with meth, the chemical smell, that's the most prevalent one. There's been a lot of stuff on television and on the internet about the effects of methamphetamines, and you may see a neighbor that's really in steep decline, you know, physically and other aspects of their life. If you put those together, you can always give us a call. There's anonymous ways to reach us where you're not going to be publicized and you'll be protected. You can go to capecops.com/webtips, and it's completely anonymous. You can text the tip to us, text the tip to crimes, to CCPD plus your message to crimes. We partner with Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers. You can, if you're bold enough, you can come in here. I mean, we welcome walk-ins as well. Any type of way you want to get that information to us, we'll take it. And then let us do the sifting and do the detective work. Quite frankly, that's what we do. And then it's dangerous if you want to do that on your own. We wouldn't recommend it.
Can you give us a description of the smell of meth for anyone who might think there's something going on nearby?
Hard for me to kind of do that through television, but just an acetone, acidic chemical smell, just something very, very pungent that you're going to instantly recognize.
Okay.
So
I spoke to some neighbors who thought that they might be hoarders because of the appearance of the outside of their house. Do you have a description of inside or the living condition that these children were in?
This particular home I do not, but just historically, manufacturing of methamphetamine and or use does not lead itself to a home that would be suitable for people. And I think this is fairly consistent.
Okay.
So the gentleman that was in the home, as you said, is a witness, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so he's not being charged with anything at this point?
That's correct.
Is that a duplex? Are those two individual houses? Or is that all one? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because there were two doors. Oh. Okay.
Very well may be a duplex. I just don't know. I didn't see the front myself. I think as far as priors, I printed that out too in case you guys wanted to know. I think the only other interaction we've had with her is a petty theft arrest in October of last year.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
You guys all good?
Yes,
Clear?
thanks.